Okay, hello everyone. I think I'm recording now. So I'm going to just make this quick because I just wanted to do a quick video about this. I do plan on live streaming later or a Twitter space. I haven't quite decided. But for now, there's something I want to talk about briefly. And what I want to talk about is a post on Katie Joy's Facebook page from yesterday. First, let me just go ahead and show you what I mean. So on this post, Katie had wrote from 21 hours ago. Okay. So here she says, okay, there we go. She says, Marissa told the chat on Justin's channel that she doesn't care how Letitia spends the money. She said if Letitia wants to pay her electric bill or go to the spa with the money, she doesn't care. Dear Marissa, that is actually fraud. You are admitting fraud. You are asking people to donate for an attorney, raising money for one reason and using the money for another. As soon as Marissa stopped going off and left the chat, Justice Fawn page was archived. Okay, now, first, I would like to comment here. If I can get back to the page, there we go. First, I would like to comment here real briefly. Katie should really know. I mean, she just because of the area in which she was writing about where I first met her, she should really know that correlation does not equal causation. Just because two things happen around the same time does not mean one caused the other or vice versa. So, I mean, they can be completely unrelated. Just want to throw that out there. And secondly, I think this is an excellent example, an excellent excuse to finally play my brand new soundbite. I'm so excited about this. Okay, dear Katie, this is for you.
I'm just going to call you a fucking idiot. You're stupid. And by stupid, I mean ignorant. And by ignorant, I mean stupid. I'm
You're
just
allowed to play
going to call
again.
you a fucking idiot. You're stupid. And by stupid, I mean ignorant. And by ignorant, I mean stupid. I'm just going to call you a fuck.
First, I would like to really extend my utmost gratitude to TheGlarer for allowing me to use him as a soundbite, basically. I heard him say this in a stream last week, and I laughed my ass off. I thought, I must have that. And he very graciously agreed. So thank you, Claire. Thank you, Will. Now, back to Katie. Dear Katie, that is not fraud. It's not. Like, and I don't quite understand what this obsession is with finding the fraud everywhere one would look, because at this point it almost seems like you're projecting, like you have these fears and inadequacies about yourself, but instead of acknowledging them in yourself, you see them everywhere else. Everywhere else you look. Sorry, I'm hitting my mic. It's right in front of my face. You're seeing this fraud everywhere else you look. You know, that's how it looks. I mean, I realize I'm speculating here, and sure, it's my opinion, but goddamn, that's exactly what it kind of looks like. Just saying. Um, but more importantly, I want to point out how that's not fraud, and I say this because as long as I have known of these fundraisers on behalf of Letitia or the Jackson family, they sure one reason in which they exist is to pay for an attorney should one need it, but I mean this right here should kind of tell people that that's not the only reason why this is used, because there are two cash apps that are often given out or offered as a means in which for people to donate. Here, let me put them up on the screen right now. Okay, and as you see, one is to Letitia's cash app and the other one is to the Jacksons cash app. Now, it was Letitia who was considering hiring an attorney, not the Jacksons. So why would anyone be donating to the Jacksons for an attorney for Letitia? You know, that right there kind of shows and proves that yeah, it wasn't just for an attorney. Although hiring an attorney should Letitia need one, which turns out she did for negotiation reasons, was one reason in which to have these fundraisers. The other reason, and it was by my understanding that this other reason was the main reason, was to help make possible a mother's ability to be there in the hospital with her child as he lay in a coma and very likely pass on soon. I mean, at least that was my impression. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't, but up throughout the course of the beginning of this situation, these fundraisers, that was my understanding. Okay. So whether or not he wakes up, though, is a moot point, I think, because whether he's in the hospital bed for months in a coma and he walks out of there or not, every mother should be given the opportunity to spend these last few months with their child, should they want it. When what mother wouldn't? And that's what this fundraiser was about, in my opinion, from my understanding. Now, sure, you can be raging bitch and be like, well, that then the fundraiser fulfilled its purpose. She got to go out there and see him. Wow. Okay. Well, she might want to go more than once. I don't know. I mean, imagine being a mother though, and living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I pretty much live paycheck to paycheck. I can't imagine me having to miss a week's worth of work, 6 months worth of work, whatever, to be in the hospital with my child. I can't imagine in a position to have to decide, do I go be with my child or do I keep a roof over my head? And what if you have other kids at home? How does a mother make that decision, man? I mean, no mother should have to be faced with that decision. They shouldn't be. That's been my whole understanding for the reasoning of these fundraisers, was to help a mother, be with their child in the hospital for however long that child is in there. And it's fucking disgusting that some people feel like this is not something that every mother should be entitled to. So yeah, but I mean, I should expect nothing different from the same person who doesn't feel like a woman traveling across states shouldn't be allowed or allotted any kind of protection, and in fact made reference to possibly informing law enforcement of said protection. I mean, who the fuck does that? Anyway, so yeah, that's where I stand in all this. That's not fraud. It's not fraud because, that's where I was going with this. It's not fraud for these reasons. Okay, one of the purposes of this fundraiser was to hire an attorney should one need it. Now, hiring an attorney does not mean that you go to court or that you end up in front of a judge no matter what. Hiring an attorney means that you just make you hire someone to act as your advocate, to make possible something you want possible, or to wrap up something you want wrapped up or whatever. And in this case, there was no court needed. There were no petitions needed. The lawyer, the attorney, negotiated a deal on Letitia's behalf with her son's wife, with her daughter-in-law. So Letitia could be with her son in the hospital. So that was the whole purpose, was to get Letitia to see her son, right? Okay, well, there you go. All these campaigns then fulfilled the purpose. If you think that was the sole or main reason for their existence, well, then they fulfilled their purpose. What are you bitching about? Money well spent, okay? Now, I'm under the impression that this existed for more than that reason. And it still exists for the main reason. Because so long as Vaughn is in that hospital and his mother is here on earth and wanting to be with him, then there's every reason and excuse for these fundraisers to remain active. So yeah. Now, I know that in Marissa's, or in the video clip of Marissa, she says that she doesn't care if Letitia spends it on a day at a spa or whatever else. Now, I'm right there with Marissa on that one. I don't really give a shit, because any money I donate isn't going towards making me feel better. Isn't going towards some self-righteous cause that I feel or deem worthy. It's to help a grieving mother, be there for her child or be there with her child. That may constitute as paying tolls on the road. That may constitute as paying for a hotel room. Hell, that may constitute as just buying the Diet Coke or whatever for the trip. Okay? That may constitute as, I don't know, after a long-ass drive or something, just needing a day off to relax and recoup. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to ask everyone else, if you want to donate and you're fine with that as well, then consider it. But if you are not fine with donating money and having no say on how it's used to achieve the goal, if you feel like you're deserved or you're entitled to that, then consider not donating. I don't know, because you don't get to decide that. I don't get to decide that. you deciding to donate means you're entrusting that person to spend the money whatever way they deem fit to achieving the goal in mind. Who am I to tell that person how they should do that? So long as they get it done, so long as they achieve it, so long as they're able to do what they want to do, I'm happy. So that's where I stand. This isn't fraud. This isn't fucking fraud. And I have to say that I have to call anyone else, especially someone who calls himself an empath, I have to call them a fucking fraud right there, because you want to call yourself an empath and pretend like you can understand and relate to the feelings of others, but yet you think that this mother, well, she got to see her son once already. What the hell? She doesn't need the fundraiser for. Why the endless fundraising? Well, maybe because she endlessly wants to be with her kid. I mean, I know that may be hard for some people to understand, but yeah, most parents, they may want to go for more than just one weekend. So, and if you're an empath and you don't sense that, well, then you're not a fucking empath and you're the fraud. On that note, I just think about it though. Imagine being in the position where you have to decide to sit there in the hospital with your son, whose last days on this earth may be happening at that moment. You have to decide. You have to make this, you're faced to make the decision whether or not to be there with them or to keep a roof over your head, man. Then imagine some entitled fucking suburban housewife feels that they're entitled to dictate what you should be entitled to do in that situation. And then that person calls themselves a fucking victim advocate, right? All right, on that note, I'm done. I will be streaming later or doing a Twitter space, I'm not sure. Bye.